And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with the Game Boy Geek.
Ugungu, Ugungu, Kachingu. Huh? You don't get what I'm saying? You don't understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Well, maybe you will after you get to play UggTect, a game of monumental fun from Fantasy Flight Games. This is a caveman game, which is a lot of fun. It's from 2 to 8 players. And yes, you actually get a caveman club. In fact, 2 caveman clubs in this game. It's a heck of a lot of fun. Game Boy Geek here. Let's check it out, and I'll show you what's in the box, how to play, and then we'll come back for my review. In UggTech, you are trying to get your team to create this architectural wonder by using these different blocks and triangles and cylinders and plates. That seems kind of easy, doesn't it? It just looks like a 3-year-old game at this point, doesn't it? Well, let's show you some of the things that you need to build with these blocks. At the beginning of the game, each UggTech draws a card that only he can see, not his team, just him, to see what he has to get his team to build. Here they all use all the pieces, and as we see this one, if they're able to get their team to get this right, they get 3 points. Doesn't look so hard, does it? And here's maybe another version of the 3 points. That may be what my competitor might be having to get his team to build. And then they get harder as they go on. That one's a little bit harder of a 3-point, with things stacking on top of each other. And they get harder even more. Look at that, it's a 5-pointer. Those are the hardest ones where you actually have to get those things to stand up like that. And maybe some 4-pointers. So they go from 3 to 5, 3 being the easiest, 5 being the hardest. And you're trying to get your team to get those. Sounds easy, doesn't it? The problem is you can't use English to get them to build these blocks. You have to use UggTech or caveman language. So let's show you how this works. Here on the left, we see the different shapes that we have here. So now, for example, if the UggTech wants his team to do something with the red piece, he will put his hands together above his head. If he wants them to touch the blue piece, he's going to clap his hands on his thighs or lower back. If he wants him to pick up the yellow piece, he's going to have him tilt his head back and forth sideways. If he wants him to pick up the big long gray piece, he's going to shrug his shoulders. If he wants to pick up the white piece, he's going to stomp his feet. And if he wants to pick up the green piece, he's going to swing his hips. Now that's telling them body language as to what piece the UggTech wants his team to do something with. Then we have the language over here. So for example, if I was the UggTech and I wanted them to take the yellow piece, I would be shaking my head side to side and I would be saying Ugungu. Now over here you see ×1 says you take, ×2 says you put away. So if I'm the UggTech and I say Ugungu and I shake my head at the same time, then I want them to pick up the yellow piece. If I say Ugungu, Ugungu, since I said it twice, that means they're going to put away the yellow piece, assuming I was shaking my head both ways. So depending on what we're doing here to the piece and what we're saying, and as you see, Karungu is turn thingy and Karungu, Karungu is tilt thingy. Konguku is make upper, Konguku, Konguku is make lower. Manungu, Manungu is make back, and Manungu is make front. Akungu is put thingy, Akungu, Akungu is lay thingy. Kachingu is make left, and Kachingo, Kachingu is make right. Now, if when we say these crazy commands, the person who's picking up the piece and they do something correct, we hit them on the head once with our club. If they do something wrong, like pick up the wrong piece or put it in the wrong spot, we hit them twice in the head if they do something wrong. And if we've completely screwed something up and gave them the wrong instructions, which happens quite a bit, we cancel it by hitting ourselves in the head with the club, which is always great fun. Karungu, Karungu. No! No! Now this continues to go on until one of the teams thinks they have gotten it correct. Over here, the team on the right looks like they've built exactly what the card says, and in that case, the UggTech will slam his club down 3 times on the table. And at that point, the building has to stay up. It can't fall when they do that. And then everything stops. The other team comes over, looks at the card, and makes sure they did it right. If they did it right, they will get 4 points, and then everybody resumes and they would pick up another card. If, for some reason, a majority of the other team thinks that they did something wrong, then they get minus 1 point. They flip it over here and put it on the left side of them, and they get minus 1 of these points for everyone they do wrong. The first team to get 10 points is the one that wins the game. All right, well, that is UggTech. So what do I think about it? This game, to me, is a lot of fun. Although I am an engineer, and building blocks and doing things like that is just pure fun to me. Now, I played this with a bunch of different groups. Now, the groups that are not engineers and not geeks and not crazy people, the really reserved people, it didn't go over as well. They still sort of had some fun, but they didn't love it. Then I played it with my engineering friends who like to build things, and these guys and girls, they almost could do this thing blindfolded. They were amazing how fast that they cut on to this new language and new gestures and just built stuff. I mean, it was crazy. So this is really going to be dependent on your group. It's also very dependent on getting 2 really good leader cavemen or cavewomen. If you have good leaders that aren't afraid to make a fool of themselves, the game goes over huge no matter which group you're in. But if you pick somebody that's shy or doesn't know what they're doing and you put them in the caveman, they're going to be uncomfortable. Their team's going to be uncomfortable. It's not going to be fun. So if you've got a group, or even if you have 2 people in your group that are outgoing, that are fun, that don't care what people think about them, that they're going to be stupid and be doing crazy things, if you've got 2 people that can do that, then you can make, those 2 people can make this game fun for people that normally wouldn't have fun. Just beating people over the head with the billy club is just, the caveman club is just fun. My favorite time when we were playing this game is there was a husband and wife, and the husband was the leader, and he was hitting his wife in the head because she was doing right. He was hitting her once, just like he was supposed to. And after about the 5th time, she ripped the club from his head. She started beating him with it. It was kind of fun. So it is a fun game. It's very light. You can have a lot of fun with it. There's going to be a lot of laughter. But you do have to have at least 2 really good outgoing people that don't care what people think of them. If you've got that, this is a heck of a lot of fun. I don't pull it out as much as I would like to just because it is kind of a crazy game. But when we do pull it out every once in a while, there's laughter going to happen.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.